Sicily is a wonderful place to visit. But Mary Rose Liverani discovered that the mafia-enforced power battles between church and state make it a far less appealing place to live for any traveler, primarily a tourist. Sicily, a self-governing region of Italy, is a paradise, a maze of small islands within easy reach of Trinapria, the big island commonly thought of as Sicily. Enchanting seas, enormous forests, beautiful cities with their marine esplanades, temples, sculptures and impressive statues to the gods of Olympia, and one of the most famous open-air theatres in the ancient world are among the many witnesses to the dazzling Greek presence in Sicily, one that endured for 17 centuries. Think of the accumulated Greek DNA in today's Sicilians. Archimedes, my favorite Greek genius, was born in Syracuse, a Sicilian Greek who in his old age defended his beloved city from the Romans. And functioning as if it were born only yesterday is Etna, a living volcano whose steep sides cover many degrees of latitude that give rise to a wide variety of fruits and other plants, and whose lava has generated 24 square miles of fertile soil around Catania. Needless to say, Sicilian food is varied, colorful and tasty, though I was disappointed not to find minestrone on the menu anywhere, even in winter. Vatican Radio with its super technology had illegally usurped 5 radio channels. As a journalist focused on inquiry, I very soon began to feel Sicily exhausting me. I could never choose to live there, because I'm a political animal and the value I treasure above all others is freedom. In Sicily I might have to become a bandit and carry a gun. I would have to resist the regime, church, mafia and gentry. They're a nightmare, plotting poverty in the populace. In Favignana, the biggest of the Agaldi Islands on the west coast, Vatican Radio with its super technology had illegally usurped 5 radio channels and excluded the national broadcaster from peripheral communities. The shopkeeper who sold me a small radio shrugged when I complained that all I could tune into was Radio Maria. "Marcum CPU fair, Signora," was his response. But what can one do? And obviously I wondered why great swathes of burnt-out crops covered areas of neat and tidy land, or charred farm equipment worth hundreds of thousands of dollars was tucked away in a corner of the same fields. In Palermo and Catania I saw 2 large department store branches of former national chain store stand a burnt black, skeletal and sinister. On the internet I encountered young Sicilians eagerly inquiring if anyone had heard IKEA had got its license yet. It normally takes 6 years because they were offering 65 jobs. Nobody was saying how many jobs had gone up in smoke with the 2 standard stores. Did you know, vendors buy magazines for £1.25 and sell them for £2.50. They are working and need your custom. School. I mentioned it to my landlord, who compressed his lips and then muttered, "God knows what tomorrow will bring." The next morning, about 8 o'clock, a motorcyclist with his small child riding pillion at his back drew up at the school gate and was immediately shot in the head. I had no idea when I first arrived there that Sicily is governed by dual sovereignty, power shared between church and state. In this system, one partner is always working to seize power from the other. When the parliament passes a law, if the church does not like it, it will take measures to ensure that the law is not enforced. This applies particularly to contraception and some medications like hormone replacement therapy which, though legal, the church forbids pharmacists to stock. The separation of canon and secular law in the region gives enormous power to the church, which is a huge landowner and with a mafia as its law enforcer and vote-getter was able to set up the Christian Democrats after the war and maintain a one-party government for 50 years. Not only that, Catholic Action became global and today the church has become one of the biggest publishers, distributors in the West. Better to be a tourist in Sicily. Stick with the little issues. Image, a rally in memory of Sicilian left-wing activist Peppino Impastato, who was assassinated by the mafia in 1978 after he regularly exposed and ridiculed their activities on his counter-information station Radio AUT. By Antonio Melita, Pacific Press, Alamy Live News.